How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Hello and welcome back to Arcanum Gaming. My name is Richie. Today we're back with another point-and-click adventure game demo. Today we're checking out Foolish Mortals, which is in development by Inklingwood Studios. Was that right? Is it Inklingwood Studios? Yes, Inklingwood Studios. Game doesn't currently have a release date, but is available to pre-order on both Steam and Good Old Games. And we do have a demo here, obviously. So yeah, I don't really know much about the game. I briefly browsed the Steam page. Looks like it's going to have something to do with some kind of a ghost-related detective mystery in the Louisiana Bayou or something like that. Don't really know anything else. So let's go and jump into it and check this one out. I like the music opening. Kind of getting like Haunted Mansion, Phantom of the Opera vibes here. Mermaid weather vane, I like it. Bunch of wedding stuff and a masquerade mask, and then a coffin dangling on a chain. Alright. Music box or something?
They said there was a treasure on the island, its location known only by the dead. I could see it in my dreams. How was I supposed to know that in order to find it, I'd have to die too?
Spirits and specters from regions unknown, guide to me the wanderer who searches alone. Well, welcome back, Murphy McCallan. Have you found all 5 ingredients for the spell?
I found 3 so far. Only 2 are left, the chalk and the coffin nails.
Hurry. The island will lead you to that which you seek. I have no doubt about that.
Okay. Initial impression. The character models look a little bit awkward. They don't quite fit in with the rest of the art, in my opinion. This is just a demo, remember? Not sure if this is what it's going to look like in the final product. The background artwork, however, phenomenal. Love it. Okay.
How will the spell help me find the lost treasure of Belmore Manor?
There are things on this island that have gone unseen. Stories that have been left unheard. At least to mortals. I commune with regions beyond. Let me introduce you to a friend. Out of the shadows, the cursed and the damned, return now my servant to do my command.
I have returned to you, Master.
Lower. This gentleman wishes to find the lost treasure of Belmore Manor. Tell him how this can be done.
Only inhabitants of the house know where the treasure lies. Their spirits still within its walls, trapped between life and death. To ask them, those spirits must be revealed on the mortal plane.
And that is what our spell will do, Murphy. A summoning spell to unveil the ghosts trapped within the house.
5 ingredients place inside, tie closed, and then unseal. Within the focus what may hide, this spell will soon reveal.
Once you've collected all 5, we can summon the ghosts of Belmore Manor. Once we've summoned the ghosts, we can ask them exactly where the treasure was hidden. You have served me, Loa. Begone!
Not really a big fan of the whole voodoo thing, but I guess it's fairly fitting for the locale of the setting. Do you know what happened at Belmore Manor? How am I going to find the spell ingredients? Alright, I'm just
I'm
going to
going
go.
to finish finding the voodoo ingredients.
Hurry back.
Alright, so we need chalk and coffin nails. Part 1, the summoning spell. This feels like a very Monkey Island screen there. Oh, it's a taxidermied fish.
I took the taxidermied fish from the rotting wooden frame.
Okay. Oh. We have a magazine gris.
It was a small leather pouch with a drawstring, used for voodoo spells. Currently, it held black feathers, gunpowder, and rum.
Manuscript page. 5 ingredients placed inside. Tie closed. Then unseal. Then the focus. What may hide, the spell will soon reveal. Okay. Looks like we're already partway through a quest. I wonder if we're like mid-game, or if this is how the game is supposed to start out. I want to get the final
It was an
release.
empty soda bottle that I'd found on the beach. It was the taxidermied fish I'd taken from the riverboat, with a ripped seam opening up to the stuffing inside of it.
Interesting. So we've got menu, option, diary, hotspots, and map. Is diary just like... That's what we're currently working on. Okay. What do we got here? There's a sack. Is that like a mail sack or something? Alright, some of the animation like that remind me a little bit of like Willie Morgan and the We're Light No Time to Trip demo that we played.
I jiggled the handle, but the door was locked.
Door was locked to the dockmaster. Is there anything we can use for that? Unlikely.
That didn't work.
Okay, so we can interact with the sack and the crane. Sack just spins around in a circle.
A frayed sack hung from the wooden crane.
Is that actually relevant?
That wasn't going to work.
Can't look at the ship, find anything out about it? Okay. Let's move on here. Looks like we can go... The Spirit Queen. Okay, so that's the name of the ship. Looks like there's a couple of locations that we can go to. We've got 1, 2, 3 locations accessible and 4 that are not. So this one is the first logical one, but let's head over here instead. Alright, looks like this is
Framed
the
by
manor.
trees and lit by moonlight, Belmore Manor stood imposingly in the still night air. Even without lights on, it felt like something inside the house was calling me, or warning me.
That's, again, very beautiful, beautifully drawn background there. Alright, so we can up the path. We can look at the house. There's a pond
A large
here.
pond lay in front of the house, slowly being reclaimed by algae and weeds.
Do we want to check the house out? Okay. What we got over here? Gazebo. We can't look at the gazebo. We can look at the furniture, though.
From the gathering moss and rust, it was clear the patio set hadn't been used in decades. A table and chairs sat inside the gazebo, an echo of better days with afternoon tea looking out over the ocean.
Ouch.
So much for good luck. I picked up the horseshoe that assaulted me. It was heavy, very heavy.
I have a horseshoe. Interesting. Okay. So there's a path we just came down. I guess that's it. I guess there's more to look at the manor. We'll come back to that. Let's head down. Let's go to this one.
Walking into the port town of Dead Nettle, I could sense its history in every stone, brick, and plank. Echoes of merchant ships loading and unloading all manner of cargo from expeditions throughout the Caribbean. Gold and treasure that may still lie hidden on the island.
Yeah, there's a lot of... I feel like there's a lot of stuff here that we should be able to look at. Like, we should be able to read the sign, maybe, and... I don't know. Let's check out the door to Doubloon's Jewelry.
I tried the door. It was locked. It was the door to a jewelry shop, with a sign behind the glass reading, "Back in 5 minutes."
Okay. What we got over here? Passageway. Down here and look at this puppet theater.
Gruff mumbles emanated from inside the puppet theater. Obviously, preparation for tonight's show was already underway. The sign read, "The Fantastic Fantaccio Brothers will be performing tonight. People of all ages welcome. Donations welcome even more so." Set up on the seafront was an elaborately carved wooden puppet theater, with Pulcinella painted across the top, and a sign hanging in front of the red velvet curtain.
We got over here, archway. Oh, there's a bit more to explore here.
There was nothing in the fountain apart from a rim of moss.
Can we fill the bottle? We
I
can't.
filled the bottle with water from the fountain.
Okay.
Good evening. He looked past me like I was invisible, as though if he ignored me hard enough, there was a chance I'd disappear. I said good evening?
I suppose, if one's standards are low enough. Have you taken a wrong turn, sir?
I'm just having a look around.
Well, make it a quick one.
Who are you?
My name is Felix Greer, maitre d', bartender, and acting manager of the Captain's Club, when Mr. Perkins has his night off. And who, pray tell, are you?
Murphy McAllen. I'm looking for the lost treasure of Belmore Manor.
Oh, goody, another young adventurer seeking fame, fortune, or some combination of the two. Just what Dead Nettle's been lacking for local color.
What is this place?
This, sir, is the Captain's Club, a private members club for current and retired sea and riverboat captains. We are highly exclusive. Are you a captain?
He asked with a smugness that told me he already knew the answer.
I thought not. Then may I recommend a swift exit? You'll find a convenient egress approximately 180 degrees to starboard. If you like, I can give you a good swift kick in the right direction, sir. And don't feel a need to stop walking until your ankles get soggy.
180 degrees to starboard. Wouldn't that be directly behind us? But the door is 90 degrees to starboard. Not sure about that one.
What can you tell me about Dead Nettle?
Do you think you've wandered into the local library? Should we gather around for story time?
I was just hoping to talk to someone obviously so knowledgeable about the area.
Well, yes, unfortunately
ego.
I'm plagued with an encyclopedic knowledge of the local area. My concierge duties require it. I have a spiel. Welcome, hardy traveler, to our quaint port town of Dead Nettle. Once this town you see around you was a hub of commerce, a beacon for ships bravely navigating between America, Europe, and the Caribbean. With the unfortunate dissolution of the Belmore Trading Company, our town has settled into a quieter life, perfect for the sailor ready to hang up their cap. We hope that you enjoy your time in our homely town and perhaps explore some of the local sites. With the Captain's Club always here as your home port.
Why was the Belmore Trading Company dissolved?
Well, you're taking me off script, but it really was quite the scandal. The 3 owners of the company vanished, and there was simply nobody left to run the company.
Wasn't there anyone who tried?
The first officer of the company, Mr. Rackham, looked to step up, but he disappeared too. I do wish the company hadn't collapsed.
I bet lots of people share that wish.
I might have more customers if it hadn't.
What do you know about the lost treasure of Belmore Manor?
Do you think you're living in a storybook? Weathered maps, talking parrots, X marks the spot? Grow up, you silly boy. Captaincy is an accomplished skill which doesn't need belittling by childish tales like lost treasure.
What makes you think I'm not a captain?
Well, for one thing, you lack the grizzle, the crustiness, the essential R of a captain.
How do I get those?
Years of exposure to salt water and sullen, uncooperative crew members, I should think. Tell me, have you ever captained a 3-rigger through a tropical typhoon? Have you ever run the rapids of the Mississippi without hitting a single reef? Wind in your sails, fire in your furnace, waves beneath your keel?
Have you?
Well, it's more complicated than that.
In what way?
I get seasick.
Is there a way to prove I'm a
Is there
captain?
any way to prove I'm a captain?
You might show me your captain's license. As I'm sure you know, the state of Louisiana requires all captains, both sea and riverboat, to carry one. But don't try to foist me off with a fake. Last week, we had someone present a license with a photograph distinctly unlike their contemporary appearance. The photograph was clearly of someone a good deal older than them, with more facial hair and, most importantly, one less eye.
I best be casting off.
Don't feel the need to rush back, sir.
Okay. I don't know if this is part of the demo, but I guess we need to find a license somewhere. Or more likely make a forgery. Oh, we got somebody down here fishing.
Are the fish biting?
Well, not so well today, to tell the truth. They must have been spooked by something. But you should have seen them yesterday. I was having to fight them off the rod. The name's Ned Kipps, by the way. Just Kipps to my friends.
I'm Murphy McCallum.
Nice to meet you, Mac. What are you doing on this old rock anyway? I haven't seen you around before. Here on vacation?
I guess you could say that.
Then you got worse judgment than an arm wrestler squaring up to a kraken. Hope you don't regret it.
Me too. What's that book you're reading?
The Louisiana Book of Records. There's this fish called a pinkoza that swims around these parts. Delicious barbecue. And you're looking at the fella that's caught the heaviest pinkoza ever weighed at the Dead Nettle docks. Now I'm looking to see if it's a state record, maybe even national, or a world record.
That's some achievement.
Oh, it was. Got my photograph on the front page of the newspaper and everything.
Hang on a second. Okay.
What do you do with the fish you catch?
A couple I saved for myself, and the rest I sell to the captain's club. They fancy them up with lemon lobster, slawfish something or other. Fools. Everyone knows the best way to cook them is to barbecue them. But then again, I haven't eaten in that place my whole life.
Why not?
I don't have a captain's license, so they won't let me in.
Don't you have a fishing boat?
Now, I used to. The Petit Pichet. But they don't count it if it doesn't have a crew.
What happened to it?
That's it across the harbor with its bow sticking out the water. It was the strangest thing. There I was, fishing just out in the bay, when a sea serpent comes out the water, wraps itself around the boat. Well, I was going to be a goner. Jabbed my fishing pole right in its beady eye, throttled the motor, and managed to make it back to shore just as the hull went under. It's lucky I made it out alive.
That's a pretty tall tale.
I wouldn't believe it myself if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
It was clear that Ned had a penchant for fanciful stories. He told them with such vigor, I think he'd convinced himself they were true. I'm looking for the lost treasure of Belmore Manor.
Well, I've heard a tall tale or two, but even I'm not spending my time looking for that. It's been lost for 30 years now.
Lost means it's still ready for finding.
I've traveled every waterway on this island, and I haven't even seen a hint of it. It could be at the bottom of the ocean for all I know. And I've found a few treasures in my time. French treasure, British treasure, pirate treasure, but no Belmore treasure.
Do you still have those treasures?
Well, I had to hide them again. Give someone else a chance to find it. I wouldn't believe it myself if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
What do you know about the disappearance at Belmore Manor?
Now there's a tale to tell. You know about Miss Belmore? The bride engaged to the sailor? I heard she was having an affair, getting up to no good with this fellow called John Rackham. He was one of the Belmore Company's higher-ups. Anyway, sailor catches wind of it and tricks Rackham into giving the lady a gift. That's what caused everything to go topsy-turvy.
What was the gift?
Call me a liar, but there are places in the Caribbean that trade things more elusive than gold. Ungodly things.
Is that what you think caused the disappearance?
What else could it be?
Well, like Pandora's box or
What
something?
can you tell me about Miss Belmore?
Ah, Abigail. More beautiful than a mermaid, and twice as fishy. Seems like such a nice girl, too. Until the affair. It seems so unlike her.
What about the sailor?
Don't know much about him. Never met the fella. I never got involved in the dock work, to tell the truth. Always preferred to sit with my fishing pole and fend for myself. We all figured that Abigail being in love with him and everything. He must have been fine folk. I think we were wrong. Poor Rackham, though. He was wronger still. I'm a business guy myself. Get the product, sell the product. Nothing wrong with bringing home the bacon. But he brought back trouble, and he paid the price.
I suppose it was a mistake for him to get involved with Abigail.
It's risky mixing business and pleasure.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac.
All right, he mentioned a heavy fish, and there's a scale ready. Oh, excuse me. I wonder if we can put the heavy horseshoe inside the fish.
With the ripped seam as an opening, I placed the horseshoe inside the taxidermied fish. Now it was heavy.
What if we now try to hang it on the scale?
Mac, does that say what I think it does? You've been holding back on me. That breaks my record.
You, what's your name?
Murphy McCallum?
You just broke the island fishing record.
How did you hear about this so fast?
It's my job to know about things fast. Now, I'm doing the questions here. So what led to this unbelievable turn of events? Years of practice, or a one-in-a-million fluke? Did the fish just jump into your lap as you walked the quayside? Was the fish dropped by a passing seagull?
Would have been a pretty darn big seagull.
Just beginner's luck, I guess.
As I suspected, well, as much as it pains me to say it, you're the cover story on this evening's edition of the Juniper Parish Gazette, and this is why I'm not getting a Pulitzer.
I've got to hand it to you, Mac. That fish is a whopper. I wouldn't believe it myself if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Okay. So exactly how does that help us?
I decided to leave Kips to his fishing. I'd had enough of carrying the suspiciously heavy fish around. I decided to leave it there.
Oh, I think I figured it out. Okay. So we set a fishing record, so now the reporter or whatever took our picture. So now I bet we can go and get a copy of the newspaper, maybe, and use the picture in that to, as part of making the fake ID. Okay, the Gazette's right here.
The latest newspaper contained a photograph of the fisherman on the docks, with a headline declaring he'd just broken the island's heaviest catch record. Nothing else was of interest.
Murphy, have you seen the cover of the evening edition? I think we caught your personality perfectly in that photograph. Naive, simple, unsophisticated. Makes it all the more surprising that you actually accomplished something.
I wonder if I should have it framed.
That will cost you.
There's some scissors here. And some twine. Printing press.
Don't even think about touching that machine.
Well, then why is it in front of the counter?
It was a large and ornate printing press, which must have cost a fortune decades ago, but was now very much out of date. On the floor was a large canister filled with dark black printer's ink. Around it, the floor was stained with ink splatters. I wasn't going to get ink all over my hands. That didn't work. That didn't. I picked up the newspaper. The fewer people that saw it, the better. Carefully, I cut my photograph out of the newspaper. Hanging on a peg at the far side of the room was a battered flashbulb camera. There was no way I was going to get past the newspaper editor to get it. Besides, I didn't know how to operate it. The back wall of the newspaper office was filled with filing cabinets. From the labels on the front, they looked to be archived issues of the Juniper Parish Gazette.
Hey, you can't come back here.
Sorry.
Yes?
Hi. I'm doing some research on the treasure of Belmore Manor.
Leave it. That's my advice. There's no story in it.
No story?
Not that anyone would believe. And I've got advertisers breathing down my neck.
What's your theory on Belmore Manor?
This might sound far-fetched, but I think it was hypnotism. All the puzzle pieces make sense.
Who was hypnotized?
Abigail, by that strange sailor she was going to marry. This newspaper had been publishing a bunch of stories about spooky goings-on across the island. We even had tip-offs of black magic inside Belmore Manor. Can you believe it?
Who was doing black magic?
Well, we weren't told for sure, but it makes sense, doesn't it? The sailor! Why else would someone as powerful as Abigail want to marry a lowly manual worker like him? Come the night of the wedding, and she wised up. Married John Rackham, the company's first officer. Much more on her social standing, and a responsible choice for the company.
What are you working on?
Listen to this. An innocent victim's domesticated canine has been suddenly and mysteriously ripped away from them by fate. Its location and intentions are unknown.
Wait, are you talking about a lost dog?
Technically, it's not lost anymore. It was found shortly before I got to the house. But still, the story must be written.
I have a headline suggestion. Lost dog, not lost.
I have a personal suggestion. Butt out.
Don't you have more interesting stories to write about?
The crackpots this island calls a population wouldn't know something interesting if they paid for it. Which they hardly do. Believe me, I've tried to get juicier stories. Scouring the island, doorstop interviews, hiding beneath windows.
You eavesdrop on people through their windows?
It's called investigative reporting.
I think I better be going.
Keep your eyes out for a story, McAllen. There are secrets on the island, and it's my job to sell advertisements next to them.
Okay. Let's head back out here. We're making some progress. We haven't been to this location yet. Let's check this out. Oh, well, guessing this is where we're going to get our coffin nails.
The tin was empty. An antique stove burned quietly in the corner of the tumble-down shack. I didn't need to do anything with the stove, and would have probably burnt my hands if I tried. Hello.
Ah, consarn it! Don't sneak up on people like that. You frighten the dying daylights out of me.
He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Sorry, you seem a little jumpy?
I thought you were those pesky kids again.
Kids don't seem like a reason to be scared.
They're little terrors. I'm sure they're gonna give me a heart attack. Last week they showed up with a doctor's note they forged, saying a man I'd buried that day was just a very deep sleeper. 7 hours I was out here digging him up, at my age!
And was he sleeping?
Dead as a dodo, just like those kids will be if I get my hands on them.
Interesting.
Have you got any spare coffin nails?
No, I don't got any to spare. I have to buy these out of my own pocket. Do you know how much the parish gives me per burial nowadays? A pittance. The roof's leaking, my table's broken. I've used floorboards to build some of the coffins. Take my advice. Don't go into this line of work. I'm telling you, undertaking's a dying business.
Have you ever accidentally buried someone who is still alive?
Not that I know of. When you think about it, how would I know?
Shouts for help? Desperate shaking of the coffin?
Look, I haven't sealed anyone up who was chatting away with me, let's put it that way. I usually check for signs of life, but everyone takes shortcuts sometimes, don't they? I deserve some rest in peace, too.
Alright. I'm guessing that we need to do basically the same thing that he said the kids did. Give him a fake doctor's note so he'll open up the coffin. The nails that he used won't be useful anymore. He'll throw them in the tin can and then have to reseal it with different nails. That's just a guess, but...
I best be running along.
Don't drop dead. I don't want anything else adding to my to-do list.
I'll find out if I'm right, if I can figure out... Well, we know what that inkwell is. We need to find some paper.
It was a small leather... Currently...
I look at the magazine. Mary and Macabre magazine. The Vanished Wedding. 2 cents. Oh, I'm guessing this is more of the background. So there's the 3 guys that disappeared and the girl. That's way too much to read right now. I'll probably read that on my own. If you want to pause the video, go ahead and do so.
I scanned the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what I was searching for.
Didn't know what you're searching for.
I scanned the head...
I wonder if we need to get like a hint or a clue from somebody to look for something specific.
I couldn't see any way to open it. Embedded into the hillside was a large, elaborately carved crypt. It looked to be hundreds of years old.
Couldn't see a way to open it, but that kind of implies that we want to. Alright, let's head over to the house. So we went around the gazebo last time. Is there anything this way? Before we try to go inside. Okay, so there are 2 paths. Or one leads back to the island, one just says path. Oh, we're just back there. Okay. Alright, let's try the door. He walks a little
With
slow.
a deep breath, I took hold of the door handle of the house I'd been thinking about for months and turned it. Unsurprisingly, it was locked. I briefly considered breaking into the house, but unsure of just how true the ghost stories were, decided it was better to not risk angering any spirits that may have been in there. If I was getting in, I was going to need the key.
I need the key. From where would we get the key? Alright, what do we have available to us here? Water. Photograph. Okay. Let's come back over here. Twine. What can we use twine for?
The twine was going to be of more use to me intact.
That didn't work.
Just try to go in.
You can't go up there. It's for members only.
I thought I'd keep that to myself. Gruff mumbles emanated from inside the puppet theater.
Try the jewelers. It said back in 5 minutes. Do you think 5 minutes have passed since we solved a couple puzzles, maybe?
I tried the door.
No. Go back to the ship. Alright, so we couldn't open that. We've got a sack that swings around. Can we use the scissors to cut that open?
The Hessian sack was too thick to cut through with scissors.
Too thick to cut through with scissors.
That didn't work. A rotatable wooden crane stood at the bow of the river. I did need to pour water on.
Pour water on it.
You've returned. Have you found all the...
Not yet. Do you know what happened at Belmore Manor?
You want to hear a ghost story, Murphy McCallum?
I want to know everything I can about that house.
Then listen closely. Dark magic runs throughout Belmore Manor. The house was built by the Belmore brothers, 3 merchants from England who made their fortune trading across the Caribbean. Xavier Belmore, an explorer, Yardley Belmore, an actor, and Cecil Belmore, a scientist. Their parents dead for many years. They each loved and cared for their young sister, Abigail. Abigail met a young sailor who worked aboard one of her brother's ships. And in less than a year, he proposed. The engagement was a scandal. Despite having the pick of any eligible bachelor in high society, her hand and the Belmore fortune was to go to a commoner. Because of their unconditional love for their young sister, the Belmore brothers sanctioned the marriage. But people began to wonder if Abigail was being locked into marriage, whether by blackmail or black magic. The grand wedding was planned by the 3 proud brothers, but in the months leading up to the wedding, each of the brothers, one by one, was lost, presumed dead. And yet the wedding was still to go ahead. And with Abigail set to inherit the Belmore fortune once she came of age, many people began to wonder whether the sailor was not a perpetrator, but a pawn. On the morning of the wedding, the sailor was summoned to her chambers. "I don't love you," Abigail declared. "I never loved you." And to everyone gathered in the house, Abigail declared that that same evening she would marry another, John Rackham, first officer of the Belmore Trading Company, would be her new groom. Except that didn't happen. On the night of the wedding, everyone in the house suddenly and mysteriously vanished. Perhaps the last revenge of the scorned sailor. The house that night held a heart that would be broken, a victim who would be tricked, and a force that would unleash evil. But no one knows exactly who each was. If you want to find the treasure, Murphy, you'll have to find out.
I'm going to finish
Hurry back.
Alright. Interesting backstory there. Alright, we gotta figure out what to do with the sack here.
The glass of the window was so thick with dust and grime, I couldn't see through it.
Maybe that's what we need the water for?
I did need to pour water on that.
You just said it was thick with dust and grime.
With a bit of elbow grease, I pushed up the wooden window frame.
Oh,
Pressed against the inside wall was a dusty desk covered in spider webs, and on top it, one thing lay undisturbed, a small folded document which I picked up, along with an unintentional 8-legged companion. Ugh! Ghost stories and haunted treasures I could handle, but spiders gave me the creeps.
that's fair.
The window to the shack was open, but its interior was largely unimpressive and covered in spiderwebs.
Captain's license.
I
Combine
stuck
that
the
with
cutout
picture.
photograph onto the still tacky interior of the captain's license. It was convincing enough.
Okay. Didn't need to clean the window, didn't need to open the door, just had to lift the window up. And we got ourselves a captain's license. So that's going to help us get into the captain's club. Not exactly sure how that's useful, but
My credentials.
You're telling me you are a captain?
I trust it's all in order.
Look, Sonny, the bylaws of this club only allow the club manager to verify a captain's license. And Mr. Perkins is enjoying his backgammon evening with Mrs. Perkins and the ladies this evening, with strict instructions not to be disturbed. So I'll be accepting this tonight, but try this again tomorrow night and it'll be another story. Now, with that said, a warm and hearty welcome to the Captain's Club. We sincerely hope you make use of and enjoy our facilities, and do please let me know if I can be of any assistance at all.
thank you. Let's head inside. Alright, we got a pool table. There's the chalk that we need.
The room was dominated by a large wooden billiard table that looked to have had plenty of use in its time.
Alright, we can add that
I
to
placed
our
the
bag.
chalk into the gree-gree. A painted globe stood at the top of the stairs, covered in pinpricks. It had either been used to plot out expeditions or as a replacement dartboard. An elegant glass-paneled cabinet stood in the corner of the room. An elegant
say?
glass-paneled cabinet stood in the corner of the room. Inside, the cabinet was locked. An elegant glass-paneled cabinet stood in the corner of the room. Inside, a pair of cues hung either side of a trophy in the shape of an oversized billiard ball.
Oh, we can't open the cabinet. There's a balcony and a light switch. Let's try the light switch. Nothing happened.
It was locked.
Okay, that must be a light switch for outside.
The cabinet was.
Oh no, it's
The ceiling fans were off.
turning the fans on and off. How is that helpful?
The room was dominated. That wasn't going to work. That wasn't going to work. I didn't need to pour water on. While I was trapped on Devil's Rock, a map of the world wasn't going to be much use to me.
Alright, so we got a cabinet we can't interact with. We got a couple ceiling fans.
The ceiling fans were off. The ceiling fans were off.
We got the chalk. Okay. Let's talk to Felix.
I didn't have anything else to ask Felix.
Nothing. Okay. Twine the water bottle.
I decided to leave Kip. I didn't need to. I thought I'd keep.
Anything to report?
Nothing yet, but I'm keeping my eyes open.
She wants us to report on something.
I thought I'd keep that to myself. I didn't need to show her.
Okay, I know. Thank you.
Yes?
Hi. What's in those filing cabinets?
Past issues of the newspaper, starting right back in 1864. Of course, things were a lot more interesting when Deadnuttle was thriving as a port town. Comings and goings of people, ships, and cargo, lots to report on back then. More than the dregs I have to dress up now.
Do you have any back issues featuring the Belmore Manor wedding?
We don't, I'm afraid. Most of the paper's directors were at the wedding and disappeared along with everyone else. The newspaper had to shut up shop for weeks while it was restaffed. This was back when the Gazette wasn't run by just one person.
Let me think here.
I think I better be go-
I'm keeping...
On the floor was a large canister filled with dark black printer's ink. I didn't think she... I couldn't do that.
Let me think here. Okay. Getting into the Captain's Club was fairly easy, all things considered.
Set up on the seat and a sign. Gruff mumbles. Gruff mumbles. That didn't work.
No.
I tried the...
Still can't get in there. Let's head back to the church.
I couldn't see any. Embedded into the hillside was a large, elaborately carved crypt. It looked to be hundreds of years old. I scanned the headstones for anything.
Maybe pour water.
I didn't need to pour water.
No.
I didn't need to pour water. I thought I'd keep that to myself. The coffin lid had been nailed down securely. I wasn't going to be able to open it. I could tie the twine to the table, but there wasn't much reason to while the table was sturdy.
Oh. I didn't realize that Jack was there. Oh, he just stole his Jack?
I tied the twine to the uneven table and took up a hiding spot behind a nearby wall. It was time to wake the dead.
Okay.
Hello? Hello? Why is it so dark in here?
Huh? Who's that?
I'm stuck! Help! Help!
If that's you kids.
Get me out of this thing!
Oh, no, not again. Mister, are you okay? I'm so sorry. I was told... Mister? Oh, God darn it! Next time I see those kids, I'm gonna have a lineup of Pee-wee coffins ready for them. See how they like being scared out of their wits.
Excellent. Gonna put his Jack back too? I guess not.
I picked up the handful of discarded coffin nails from the tin.
Excellent.
I placed the coffin. I've done it. All 5 ingredients for the summoning spell. Now I needed to head back to the Spirit Queen.
Alright. Yeah, I totally did not notice the Jack there until
Murphy, have you done what was asked of you?
I tried the string.
I have.
Wonderful. Now, it is time for the final step. Out of the darkness, the sadness, the fear, I command you, my servant, now to appear!
I have returned, Master. What is your desire?
The ingredients have been gathered. The final step of the spell is ready. The focus.
The focus of the spell is that which you are casting it upon. Belmore Manor is where the ghosts reside. An image of Belmore Manor is what you must direct the spell with.
Murphy, do you have an image of Belmore Manor we can use?
The magazine.
Yes, Murphy. That will work. Place it inside the Gree as the final ingredient.
I folded the magazine cover and placed it inside the Gree.
The spell is ready. Finally, the ghosts will be free again. Open the Gree, Murphy, and that will cast the spell.
With some trepidation, I took the Gree from my pocket and then, with a deep breath, opened it.
At last, I am free.
Servant, what's happening?
I was never your servant.
I am your master. You shall do my bidding. I command you.
Foolish mortal, you have served your purpose.
He said the name of the
No
game.
longer do I need to manifest as an ephemeral specter. Now my true spirit form is freed.
Loa, do as I say.
You have no more use to me.
See, this is why you don't screw around with voodoo and witchcraft and shit like that. Ooh.
I wasn't sure what I'd just seen, but the voodoo fire raging all around me was all too real. I needed to get out, and fast.
Good thing we got a bottle of water. Oh, it's the girl. Oh, I guess she wants company. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is the demo for Foolish Mortals. Alright, we think on it for a few minutes and then we'll go ahead and talk about it. Alright folks, that was the demo for Foolish Mortals, coming from Inklingwood Studios. First thoughts. Okay. Like I mentioned earlier, not a big fan of the whole voodoo thing. Stuff like that. It's just, it's a little... But, you know, it is thematic for the Louisiana setting, so... yeah, I think the demo was very nice. I really like the background artwork. Very beautiful. Very well drawn. The character models kind of don't seem to fit with it, though. I don't know if that's going to be the final look or not. I mean, it's fine. You know, it's an adventure game. It's fine. But they just seem a bit... I don't know, flat compared to the background artwork. Voice acting was okay. Maybe 7 out of 10. It wasn't phenomenal, but it certainly wasn't bad by any means. Puzzles were relatively straightforward. Kind of stumbled across like the fish one just by, you know, I guess by the nature of being someone who's played a lot of point-and-click adventure games. Let me think. I think the coffin nails was a bit tricky. It took me a while to figure out that there was the jack there, and then, you know, just going through, you know, as usual, I've got an inventory item, try it on interacting with everything, and eventually something will work, and things kind of clicked into place, and I think it worked well. I kind of figured out the puzzle like almost immediately from talking to the guy, although I thought we were going to have to, you know, just show him a note or something. We didn't really end up needing that ink well in the newspaper office, which I thought was going to be related to that. Maybe we'll need that for something in the full game as opposed to the demo. Also, yeah, I don't know, something I would like to know is this first section of the game, did we just get kind of dropped in the middle, or are we going to have to find those other 3 ingredients? Is that going to be part of the beginning of the game, or is it just going to immediately jump in where it did there? I kind of like to see, you know, earlier in there, and maybe we will. Maybe that's, you know, locations that we can't access yet will be part of that. I don't know. Every adventure game demo that I've played thus far has always been at the very beginning of the game, the first chapter or section or whatever, so it would be interesting to see if this one was somewhere like a little bit towards the end of the first chapter. I don't know. If you guys know, let me know. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably check it out when the full game comes out. There's no release date or estimated release date at this point in time, but yeah, that's okay. We've got plenty of other stuff to play in the meantime, and yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on this one. A few other ones that I've played recently I'm a bit more excited for. Again, just based on first impressions, but I do like the look of it. I think this is probably going to be a good one. Seems like it's got a really good backstory, too. Very interesting mystery with the disappearance, and they mentioned some kind of weird mystical item is involved with this. My guess is something like Pandora's box. Who knows? Yeah, definitely interested in seeing more. So I don't really have any other thoughts right now. I'm just gonna sit and think on this one for a while, and yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about this one. You excited for it? Do you have any other thoughts on it? Do you agree? Disagree with my thoughts? And yeah, we'll catch you in the next adventure game demo or the next adventure game video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.